Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare Actual. Thanks for stopping by. So I want to ask the question, what should men do now? Of course, everybody here already knew that. Everybody listening already knew that because that's the title. And, you know, I know as MGTOW that the answer is you should go your own way, right? But I think it's a little bit more complicated than that because a lot of the young men are coming up, all right? And it's part of our biology. This trick that's been played on men, this bait and switch that's been played on men through this consumer society, it's played upon our instincts. It's played upon our biology. It's played upon our evolution. It's played upon our psychology. If you ask a woman, what's the purpose of life? What do you think she'll say? I know what my mother said. And I don't mean individually, because I've got a whole series of videos on that. And it's an important question you need to ask yourself. Everybody needs to ask themselves. But I think the female will say it is to reproduce. That's all. And from a genetic point of view, it's true. That's it. That's all your genes, want you to do. Your entire biology is driving you towards making this particular decision. And as the situation, becomes more desperate, right, the women can become uglier and uglier. And your biology, the male biology, is still driving them to do this. It's still driving them to sacrifice. It's still driving them to seek approval from the female, from the herd, from the collective, from the group. How could you not have that bred into you as a child, seeing as how this is what determines whether or not you survive as a child? Your willingness to go along. And this is a great trait. Make no mistake, right? When you're in the right environment, in a reciprocal environment, relationship, this is the way to go. We work together and, our work isn't just doubled. It's exponentially, stronger. The jobs that, two men can do far outweigh the job one man can do. Can he get it done? Probably with the right tools, and the right, additional equipment. But, you understand what I'm saying. It's built into us. It's conditioned into us. But now, thanks for stopping by, everybody. Yeah, see, look, there's people here. I'm sorry. I get really involved in what I have to say, It's an intellectual, discussion within my own head is what it becomes. And I think it's useful because it's geared towards expressing these fundamental truths and the situation that we as men are facing, we as citizens in a modern society are facing. And this cycle it's a cycle, right? Like it's happened in other civilizations. They weren't as technologically advanced as we are. They didn't have as much communication ability that we have. They didn't have the vast resources of past knowledge that we have. They didn't have the ability of association that we have, which leads to networking. There's some events in history that the critical role, the most important part, was somebody just networking and passing along information. It wasn't that they did anything. The sailor in like one of the 300 movies, of course, I forget the name, Theseus. Okay, there you go. Right? No, it's just the network of all the ships and the communication and the transportation. So we're super advanced is what it comes down to. And we're falling prey to the exact same female nature, to the exact same white knighting, simping behavior that the male falls into. And they've known this for many, many generations, multiple civilizations. Okay, when these guys were planning their governments, and I'm talking about the ancient world, they were planning them with the end in mind. It wasn't, make it up as we go along. Of course, it was at first, but no, eventually they were able to say, hey, what kind of people do we want out of this situation? In other words, form follows function. Okay? You decide what function, your citizens are going to serve. Are they going to be mindless consumers that, generate a tax base and, basically generate tax cattle and war fodder? Are they going to be that? Okay. Well, then you've got to, build your system a certain way. So we've been built, appealing to our nature. It's built into the system. That's why it's so hard for the men to extract themselves. That's why this is an important subject, okay? What do you do now that we're MGTOW? What do we do, okay? Is the whole path of getting together with women closed off to the man? Because from a male biological point of view, that's almost like a death sentence, okay? And it's just not going to happen, right? Like the man is still going to feel what the man is going to feel. And if you think I'm like saying things that are like heretical to MGTOW, I'm not. These are the important questions. You wouldn't be surprised by how many comments I get where the man is saying, okay, great ideas, important information. I pretty much agree with you, but I will not forsake female company. The biological urge. I won't do it. And how dare, MGTOW, right? I'm not even suggesting, that a man do that. You make up your own mind. You take the information, you take the knowledge, you take the experience of the other men. You take your judgment and you decide. But we don't have our own judgment. We've been stripped of our own judgment. What we think of as judgment is actually compliance, okay? Judgment means that you have to evaluate these things, going your own way. You have to find your own way. Luckily, you can look to other successful men who have a good life and you can model their behavior. Okay, so it's not like you have to figure out everything, but yes, the unexamined life is not worth living. The unexamined relationship is not worth having. The unexamined question is not worth asking. And for the most part, we get our values, our ethics from the media, from the group, from what we need to do in order to get along with the group. That's what we do. And if we were raised as a bunch of cannibals, we would all be fine young cannibals. Is that ethics? No, it's not, because the individual hasn't decided. They've just gone along with the group. And this particularly appeals to the female mind, which, this is evolutionary biology. This is our natural biological urges. They want to be part of a group. They want to be protected. Right? And they have this valuable asset, the ability to reproduce. And they seem to have this mysterious effect on men. On males, even. But they've become so toxic. They've become so divided from their natural biological role, from a modern technological consumer-based marketing system where the media is expertly controlled. They've become so indoctrinated with that. Yeah, there it is. They hate men, but they want to be men, but they want to destroy men. In a lesbian relationship, there's the dominant one and the less dominant one, and yeah, there's abuse, right? So it's not like even these qualities that they denigrate, that they don't have them. Of course they do. You ever watch, hey, next time you're watching boxing, UFC, whatever, take a look at the audience, right? And you watch who's most enthusiastic, who's jumping and cheering the most. And it's the women. And it's not just the women, it's the most attractive women. Are you like starting to get a picture, like what's going on here, the encouragement, the goading, the things that men are encouraged to do and to be, and why, and how natural it is, and how it's used in advertisement within media, and how that mindset is manipulated and controlled and directed and weaponized against men, against the virtuous people within the society and the civilization, because you want them to buy your products and you want them to go along with your cause, and you want them to vote with your party because you're getting more power and you don't care about those issues. And even if you do, there's other people who have been there long enough and are smart enough and manipulative enough to understand the system, right? Like, could you imagine a young politician coming into Congress or the Senate, you know what I mean, with their ideals and their ambitions, and the older ones saying, look, these are the lines that we vote along, and these are the reasons why we vote along these lines, and it's financial support. And it's also us trying to garner public support. And this is how we play it. And you're coming here from Arkansas, and it's, you know, we're not too worried about that market. You know what I mean? So even your good ideas, they're not even your good ideas. We're going to give them to somebody else in a larger market where we can influence people on a swing state, in a swing district. And they've been playing this game, long game, for years. And they're not even the masters of it. And the masters of it may not even know they're the masters of it. Therefore, you have to prepare yourselves. What do you have to do now? You have to avoid toxic, idiotic relationships with women. You have to be able to control your impulses, sexual, like you can't let it get you into serious trouble. But of course, you know, what are you going to do? You are a man. Are you going to close that part off to you? I don't think so, and I don't necessarily think that's a good idea either. You know, but you better start using some serious judgment, and even that's really not a strong enough way of putting it. If you knew the trouble I was in, you know, you'd avoid all contact. Okay, I'm sorry, man. Sorry. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Yeah, the Emperor is here. Yeah, you'll have to excuse me if I'm not bowing down and stuff like that. You know, I mean. No, it's good to have you guys here. I'm just joking around, right? What else is going on within MGTOW? Live streams. I'm still impressed with, you know, the Hammerhand Sandman over on the One Fest DAC. I saw that Chris Mitchell was doing something with DAC the other day. Yeah, let me check out what's going on in the comments section here. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Oh, yeah, here. Haha. Here is my Cash App donations link. If you're in a position to help out the Howard Stern channel, it would really, really come in handy right about now. It's an impossible circumstance that the men are being forced into. And the more that you demonstrate the qualities that you need to have to succeed in this world, the bigger target bullseye that you've got painted on your back. What will you do? How will you go forward? You can't get your ethics and your ideas and your ambitions and your goals through popular culture. You can't be motivated by certain aspects of your biology that are being used like a fish hook with a worm on it against you, or at least you can't allow it to be used in that fashion. And yet, the men are so desperate for affection, for the attention. What will they do? You know, beautiful woman comes up to them, starts flirting with them. What are they going to do? You know, in espionage, the first thing, like if you want to get the codes to the bank, the first, you know, like your first avenue is to check the employees there and to send them, you know, a seducer, somebody who appeals to them sexually. And they try to, you know, initiate that relationship, and then they try to gather that information. I mean, that's real basic stuff. What if all women have this ulterior motive when they're dealing with men? You know, I'm working on a theory, and I call it the 1,000 schlong stare, right? And, you know, this is a technical, medical, you know, psychological situation here that I'm talking about. Like, I didn't invent this. This is like, you know, this came to me from a doctor, okay? A doctor of MGTOW, right? Does anybody have the nickname Dr. MGTOW, right? Because that would be pretty good. Yeah. And I don't care what they're a doctor of, right? They could be a doctor of, you know, foodology. I don't care. But then they could definitely claim that, whole Dr. MGTOW kind of thing. Doctors are going through a hard time, my friends. Hey, MGTOW Smurf, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Dark Angel Callie, thanks for stopping by. What's this comment? This looks good. Japanese and Korean women are even more adulterous than Western women. For those waiting to find true love overseas, it's even worse. They are way more cruel. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how they evolved. We're not just talking about evolutionary biology. We are talking about evolutionary sociology. Okay, and what happens within this advanced technological system? And you think, oh, these are the meek, these are the submissive women. No, these are the more duplicitous women. These are the women who have it hidden better. They have to hide it better. Okay, but that resentment, which I am calling the thousand schlong stare, it doesn't go away. It's ingrained into them. Could you imagine being the submissive in a sexually dimorphic species? How would you like that, man? You wouldn't, right? And you'd get your revenge, man, one way or another. So yeah, the submissive women in the other cultures, they're not actually submissive. They are forced to act that way. And when they can, they will extract their revenge. And this revenge that we're experiencing is happening within popular culture. Good to see you, MGTOW Smurf. How's it going, bro? See, there it is. A title, Smurf and MGTOW, right? So Dr. MGTOW, Officer MGTOW, although I don't know if we need that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been triggered. Sorry. Yeah, and interestingly, Korea, South Korea, right? Just elected, an anti-feminist president. Yeah, anti-collectivist, because it's going crazy. So, all over the world, and especially within your technological societies, and especially there's where your population is dropping. Okay, and what are the men going to do? Sex dolls, there's an option. Like they're getting very realistic, but there's another, but there it is, a consumer society. You know what I mean? Marketing to your biological needs, your instincts, your biological proclivities, adding addictive substances into your food that, just hidden there. Just, no, it doesn't do anything for taste. It doesn't do anything, but it does, addict them. I'm talking about MSG, essentially, right? I mean, why do you really think a McDonald's hamburger tastes so good? Because it's not quality product. It's not even just the right combination of salt, sugar, and fat, because you'd be able to get that. No, there's yeah, there's the other chemicals. And yeah, there's your diabetes, there's your obesity, there's your killing testosterone in the men. In the males, shit, I'll detach it. You know what I mean? I'll just do it straight as a population, right? So you're destroying the males of the population, and that destroys the future generations. So, is that what we're looking at? Is that what we're witnessing? Are we the last generation? Based on population data, it would pretty much suggest that, wouldn't it? I mean, what, is there suddenly going to be a boom in Western civilization? Are the women going to start acting right, and are the men going to come back to the plantation? Or are the laws just going to get worse? And is media and government and the institutions going to play to this even more? I think we know the answer to that. I think we know where the money is. So you have to divorce yourself from this. And it's impossible, right? Like as a child, what the heck are you going to do? No, you are a part of that system. You have to get along in that system. You have to be part of that system. They have to think that you're a champion of that system. And then you get the rewards of that system. But if you take all the fruits and the rewards from that system, they're poison. You'll be destroyed. Like you get married and you have the kids. Let me mention something else, because I know I'm stepping on some MGTOW toes when I talk like this. We're not talking, I'm not talking about individual women. I don't know. Maybe you know somebody. Maybe you've got a particular relationship. Okay. I don't know. Maybe your sister has a friend, and I don't know. And individually, people should be judged individually. But we're talking, as a group, as a whole, as a societal issue, as a media that we're facing, that we're trying to deal with, that despises us and hates us and belittles us and marginalizes us and casts us in the role of, multi-generational oppressors, which goes against all. Yeah, the woman who said, she doesn't mind if some men are falsely accused and have to pay the price. It's like, that's not the question. It's not a human question. That's not a decent question to even ask yourself. The question is, how would she feel if she were falsely accused and unjustly punished? That's the question. And if somebody isn't willing to ask themselves that question, then they better not be the person making those decisions. I mean, right? Go straight to the biblical situation because they're teaching morals there. The Solomon issue. Okay, we're going to have to cut the baby in half. And the one woman is perfectly willing to do it and the other woman isn't. So now we know who the real mother is. Anyway, yeah, sorry, sidetracked. What's this? Once a woman gets the upper hand with children, yeah, in this society, it's game over. Yeah. And there's a biological clock that ticks over there too. The minute the child is born, the man is secondary. And I'm not even suggesting that the man is upset about that, but they're not aware of their biology. What we're witnessing, and I guess it is natural, is the natural expression of female nature being played out on a societal, cultural, philosophical level, instinctual level. And this is the bad part. You know what I mean? This is the endlessly complaining, endlessly finding fault, endlessly playing the victim, endlessly, trying to get men to, just do stupid things, dividing and conquering them. And this is assisted by the media, by the institutions. This is where their bread and butter is. They don't want a country full of strong, intelligent, thoughtful, industrious, capable people who will pursue their own interests. They don't want that. Of course not. They want compliant consumers who follow and go along and buy their products and follow the trends and listen to this artist and that artist. That's what they want, and that's what they've got. And it's easier to get the women. And once you get the women, you can get the men, because the women will withhold affection and sex. So, pretty simple, isn't it? That's what's going on. And that's what popular culture is. It's the exhibition and the demonstration of these values. So it's almost like impossible to even be a part of it. Chinese don't let their kids do it. They don't let their kids on TikTok. They've got their own TikTok. They own TikTok, but they peddle it to us. And it indoctrinates with anti-male, anti-virtue values in the pursuit of material, unearned resources and gain and sympathy and attention. But attention is a commodity itself nowadays. Speaking of which, 33 people here watching. I appreciate that, everybody. I'm going to try to do these regularly. Anybody want to come in here? I'll find the post. I will find it and I will share it because I don't know how to bring anybody in. Okay, there it is. Look, I'm copying this, the link to the stream, copy the clipboard, but I just like Control C, and I'm pasting it, Control V, but it's not pasting. Oh, there it is. Hello, John Smith. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. Oh, look at this. Sex is so overrated. Ask any man who's been in a long-term relationship. Exactly. Novelty is the attraction. After a couple weeks, it's like, wow, your sister's very cute. And that is what's built into our biology. We're attracted to who we're attracted to. It appears that it might have some genetic basis as well. Men, of course, are so desperate and the situation is so confused that we'll go with almost anybody, but we're attracted to who we're attracted to. and we want to spend like a couple weeks with them. And sometimes we're no longer attracted to them, and we go our separate ways. And hopefully nobody's pregnant. Sometimes we are attracted to them. We stay a couple months, and hopefully things stay good. And they might be kids. And then the male needs to stay at least, until the kids are born and they're a little bit on their feet, which with human beings takes a while, at least a few years. And the relationship is pretty much worn out by that time, or it hasn't. And if it hasn't, ideally, if it hasn't, they'd be having more kids. With the idea of, making this like a 7 or 8 year situation. But the minute the first kid comes, her priorities shift away from the man. But it's not like the man is a baby and needs her attention. I mean, he's aware this is going to happen. Whole time, culture is playing to her that the man is useless and a piece of garbage. Sacred Y is here. Let's see if we can get him in here. I can hear you.
What's up, brother? How's it going?
It's going good. Quite an honor to have you on here, Sacred Y. Thanks for all the comments.
The honor is all mine, brother, man. Holy cow. I am so excited to be here.
Oh, no, I was on here a few years ago, and I got myself up to about 75,000 subscribers. I got into some legal trouble, and I've kind of sneaked back in here. I've kind of done that. And I'm still dealing with my situation, but no, I am really glad that MGTOW is here, that we've got people like you supporting the development of the newer MGTOW channels, with the intelligent, thoughtful, overarching view. Because there was a great danger for MGTOW that it was going to become too radicalized. You know what I mean? Just a hate movement. And no, we're too smart for that. And that's because we've got people like you coming in and helping us out. So thank you for being here, Sacred Y.
Thank you, man. That means a lot coming from you. But you're right. They a few years ago, you can really tell in the tone of these betas and females. Oh, the MGTOW, they're the new domestic extremists. And well, here we are going complete underground, and they can't prove it.
Yeah. And, I have dreams of, 100,000K channel, of a plaque of YouTube, but it's not necessarily for MGTOW. Maybe we are supposed to be underground, something that the man finds, a little off to the side. And I'm glad too that it hasn't become, too ridiculously radicalized, because that's how they want to portray us. You know what I mean? Like if the media sees MGTOW, they want to portray us as misogynist, women hating, fascists. That's what they want to do. But that's not what MGTOW is. So
no, absolutely
we got to keep it going. No. Well, you help remind us, you know what I mean? With the thoughtful, intelligent analysis and comments.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. It's definitely it's definitely been a new worthy cause that I have taken up, especially since my career in the infantry is starting to take a turn on the outs. And my career in private security contracting is completely gone due to the new regulations of the military. And recently, just last month, we had our AT training, and I tried explaining to my first sergeant that I wanted to start a men's support group within our unit to try to lower the suicide rates in the 127, because they are skyrocketing. It's not the female suicide rates, it's the male suicide rates.
Of course.
And he was so on board in the beginning of the first week of our annual training. But on the last day, before I'm packing up my shit, getting ready to go home, have a few beers and finally decompress, he comes up to me and he's just, we can do this, but we have to include the women. I said, First Sergeant,
What?
That defeats the whole freaking purpose.
Right, right.
So it's as you say, they could be as red-pilled as possible, but their genetic
Mm-hmm.
urges to appease the woman will snap them right back to that blue pill malaise and
Mm-hmm.
sell out all
Yeah.
the men.
Yeah. And we see that, like you've got a group of men and they're functioning as a team and they're operating fairly well. And then, a woman or two comes into the picture and, you can forget whatever goal the team was working on. They're now working on individually impressing the women, each one of them.
Absolutely. And just as you said earlier in this video, men, we want to be a part of the group. We long for that primal tribal belonging. And right now, as my out process is becoming, because, I'm not taking no jab, I'm not accepting no
Mm-hmm.
gynocentrism. I'm saying no,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm walking away. So that
Right.
still urge for me to be a part of it is still there. But I can't be bullshit anymore.
Of
So
course.
now it's like, well, they're going to have to let them hate me. And I go on and build my life the way it's supposed to be.
Right. But the men still have these basic urges. They're still played upon. They're still, manipulated through these, especially, the younger, the less experienced they are. And, it's interesting, what's going on in the military. Like you're doing a men's support group and the sergeant says you have to include women. And it's like, no. It's a men's support group and it actually needs to actually be separate from women. That's part of what it is, because the problem that is driving part of the suicide is the men's attitude towards what they think the women's attitude towards them is. It's a little convoluted, but the men don't think the women respect them anymore or value them anymore. And so they're feeling lost. I mean, this is Nietzsche's God is dead. This is the meaning and the purpose of many men's lives is dead. It's taken away from them. It's gone, but they still have the exact same biological urges, but they know it's dangerous. They know it's toxic. But I wanted to mention, the ideal IQ for a prison guard is 95. You don't want them so smart that they'll start doing things. You want them to follow orders. So, they don't necessarily want men to be, enlightened and taught to go their own way. They want men to follow orders and do as they're told. And women controlling them, sexuality controlling them is part of it.
Yeah, man, it's funny you say that. When I first enlisted after MEPS, my recruiter called me and he's like, hey man, you're of all my guys I recruited, you scored the highest on the ASVAB. Are you absolutely sure you want to join the infantry? And I was like, hell yeah, man, I want to go kill terrorists and commies, and I'm a primal warrior, I'm space monkey ready to go. But now I'm starting to realize that they played upon that patriarchal primal urge, and I'm seeing it's not at all what I thought it would be.
No, they just pay lip service. Government, institutions, media, when they're calling upon news media, when they're calling upon these issues and stoking the fires, they don't actually care about these issues. Excuse me. It's this professional detachment that allows them to be so ruthless in their job. It's required of them in their job. Imagine if you were hired from a very, very large marketing firm, with internet resources and everything, and they said, we want you to promote the cause of transsexualism. Boom. You know what I mean? You'd start creating fake news stories. You'd start creating testimonials. You'd start pasting them all over Facebook. You'd start writing fake letters. You'd start protesting, newspapers. You would bring all of your professional marketing skills to bring across this ethical social issue. And that's what we're looking at. It's like this terrible, unholy alliance between marketing, government, institutions, media, just a financial profit. appealing to our worst instincts and driving a popular culture that men can't really be a part of anymore. I mean, this is kind of what we're experiencing. This is a culture war, and you know, we're coming down to the end of it. It seems like we're really not, but that's the way it always seems.
Absolutely. I'd like to dial it back quite a few years, you know, because we're living in a quote Tyler Durden's wasteland, Fight Club.
Yes.
You know, what did he say?
Indeed.
He said, you know, we have no Great War, you know, no Great Depression.
Right.
Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives. You know, we're all
and we're looking.
Go ahead.
We're looking at a generation of men raised by single mothers.
Absolutely. I am one of them. Yeah, and once you wake up to it, once you realize the dystopia you are actually living in, it's everywhere and it's in everything. And honestly, sometimes it makes you sick to your stomach because we're trying to figure out the why of it when we should be figuring out the how and how the hell did we get off this rock and push our species forward. When all we're doing is digressing back into the same gynocentric androcidal cycles, repeat and rinse and repeat. And the men are so the men are so pussy thirsty that they will continue to go along with it. They will completely forget the past philosophies, the past historical monuments, echoes of time and space of our species, just so they can get a little lick or a little push, you know?
It's true. So true. You got it. Yeah. And, you know, that cycle of, you know, rinse and repeat is the end of your life, is the end of a generation of men. That's the cycle. Okay. So, and it's over and over again. So the men get destroyed generation after generation. And some of the men are waking up and coming to this realization, you know, before it's too late. And they hate us for it. You know, they're against MGTOW. You know, MGTOW can't become a movement because there's no way that the popular culture and media would endorse this message, would even allow it to be put out there. You know, so we're fighting an uphill battle. Go ahead.
And there's no real way for them to physically mass profit off of it because it frees the individual space monkey brain.
Exactly. It's anti-consumer society. It's go your own way, find your own value, meaning and purpose in life.
Absolutely. And if men can't get it together, they're just going to see the table come to a head. We're dealing on such a mass scale of delusion that the fact that this MGTOW community is so small should tell you just how much of an uphill battle men have.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the fact that we are resisted against so strongly and our message resisted against so strongly should tell you also that this is an important, meaningful message. Now, Sacred Why, I'm going to bring in Chris Mitchell. He's been here for a while, and we're going to see what the Emperor of Canada has to say. And also a pizza maker, from what I understand.
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you?
We're doing good, brother.
Doing good.
Hey, nice to meet you, Monkey Brain.
Nice to meet you, man.
No, I think you're absolutely right on what you said. That what you were talking about with your former commander about the men's suicide group or suicide prevention group. If you were to do that in reverse, you would be laughed out of the fucking barracks. If you were to go in and say, well, there's this group that's for women that's anti-suicidal and, you know, it's a support group, and you were to say, well, we have to open that up for men too, you'd be laughed out of the fucking barracks.
Because absolutely.
That's programmed into them. It's just like your Your patriotism is not the same thing as, being pro-government, right? There's a big difference there.
Right.
Being a patriot is fine. Hating or despising or distrusting your government is also fine. But they're separate entities. Love your country. I've said it many times. Love your country. Distrust your government.
I agree.
Look at what we have right now in the Western world. I mean, you're in the U.S., I'm in Canada. I think, yeah, well, obviously Howard's in the U.S. as well.
So let me share some with you. I was at the inauguration after January 6th with my unit, and it was strange because when we were pulled into the Capitol Rotunda, they made us swear an oath to Biden and the Democrat Party, and it was so
Weird.
shocking that we would do something like that. I was so out of the norm. You thought we were patriots, and we were just, it was so messed up that the fog of it was just so mind fucking that none of us knew what to do. So we just stood there and with our M4s and just pulled security and went along. We just kept doing what we were told to do because we knew our lives were built upon the benefits, and everything that the military's offering us is dangling over our heads, and I was so sickened being there on what everything was going on. But let that show as just an example of just how corrupt and how deep it goes. It doesn't, love your country, but don't trust your government, man. You're right.
Yeah. They have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, and it doesn't matter where you look in the world. Back in 1940, we were looking at World War as, well, it's this one evil country that's trying to take over all the others. Now we have Hitler literally running the show in every country. They've all signed up for it. They're now all on board. Everywhere you look is another Nazi dictator, and they follow the exact same fucking program. They might do it in a less violent way for the most part. Obviously, we're not seeing, the extermination of people, or, it's not.
Oh, we are just in Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, it's not being done with bullets and, nerve gas. They've just changed it up. Instead, now it's vaccines and fucking Planned Parenthood. Right?
And the testosterone in the men is so freaking low. It's like the opportunity to fight back has completely overpassed us. It's gone. It's gone.
All part of
like
it.
we
Just testosterone is really interesting. It's like this overall indicator of a man's evaluation of himself and status within a group and society. So if the women start sneering at the men's testosterone naturally just goes down. It's just not even, it's like, what the hell? It's like you want it to be totally in your control, but it's not. It's so inclusive. Now, Sacred Y, you mentioned you were asked to take an oath to the Biden administration, not merely to the office of the presidency?
To the Democrat
by
Party.
name? That's disgusting. You're not supposed to have to do that, are you?
No, it was completely unconstitutional.
Yeah, the Democratic Party,
like,
they made you swear an oath to the Democratic Party, not to the fucking office or the country.
So what I have learned...
The office and the country, yeah.
What I have learned, and this was from my old commander, that the Army will not follow an unlawful order, but they will follow an unconstitutional order as long as it sounds lawful.
Sure. They don't know. They can't object. They're not the people that get to judge, you know what I mean? But the people who do get to judge should know better.
Absolutely.
And the fact that they don't know better is an indicator that they should not be the ones who are judging. And we don't even follow that basic tenet of logic. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you want to be in charge, you want to make decisions. how have your last 10 decisions turned out? Oh, they've turned out badly. Well, we don't want you to be in charge anymore. Oh, they've turned out well. Okay, please continue to make decisions. So we're divorced even from the results of our decisions and what we do. The politicians are. A gynocentric media system is, like history gets wiped out. Kind of like, this is a tactic within an authoritative society. No, we make up history. No, that didn't happen.
Well, we are living
just
history.
Tell you what it was.
Howard, I've asked the question a few times now. When was the last time you saw the government do anything that actually, benefited the people and not just specific people or themselves? I can honestly think of it. I cannot think of anything in probably my lifetime where the government got it right. Like just 100% got it right on the fucking money. You know what I mean? When was the last time?
Yeah, I can't think of one. No, I don't think I've ever heard of it in my whole life. Everything they've done, each party, each side does for its own advantage and to the disadvantage of the other. It's always the game.
Yeah, it's not for the people. I mean, disarming the population is not for the people. Putting us on a welfare state is not for the people, right? They always have underlying interests that get paid on the side. Child support is not about anything for the child. We've gone over this 1,000 times. When they collect child support, they get paid. That's why you have so many people on child support. Obviously, with the social services, right? They're supposed to be there for family units and to help people out when in times of need. That's what it was designed for, right? And the first thing they started doing was getting paid for however many people they had on the system, right? Well,
classic case of the road to hell paved with good intentions, right?
Yeah. Now all they do is try to get them numbers up, baby. Get them up as high as we can, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there you go. As long as there's a financial influence in it, there's going to be corruption. We don't seem to know any other way. And that's our government.
And you have enough weak beta simps out here to willingly accept the blame once it all comes tumbling down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only that, but they will sign up for it over and over and over again. We will see.
Yeah, it's sickening. People, it's just sickening.
Instead of people saying, well, not all of them, obviously. Oh my God, I've got the name of the country forgotten now. But they're in a big civil uprising now.
Sri Lanka.
Yep, there you go. Sorry, I'm a bit tongue-tied, but we're seeing what happens when the shroud comes down. Right there, we've seen it in Venezuela when the government becomes more empowered. Right, that didn't turn out good either. But I have more hope for the other people who are taking their country back from these dictators than I ever would put faith in a government to fix things, because they're not built to fix things. They're built to make more laws, which makes more problems, which makes them more money and puts more boots on your neck. It's like I stated to you, Howard, in the chat there. I'm the emperor that doesn't want you to kneel anymore. I want you to stand. So
thank you, brother.
I'm just kidding, brother. No, that's like I said, it's all about freedom in my books, and most people wouldn't know what to do with freedom now if it slapped them in the face. Most people wouldn't know freedom if they've seen it.
You're right. I still have family members that think this show will go on forever. They just think if they just vote for the right people, and if they just push the hamster wheel faster, if they just go a little bit further with more faith in it, it's all going to turn out.
Yeah, I got some oceanfront property for them in the desert. Good price.
Right?
Yeah, they're fucking living in a fantasy.
Absolutely, man. It's funny because you will see how many I forgot what I was gonna say. Men will preach red pill knowledge. They will come in acceptance of the matrix and the revealing of the great truths. And then they'll go to their buddies and just repeal right back and regress back to the blue pill. Oh well, it'll all just blah, 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 blah. So
Right?
what do
I'll
men
do it
like us
too.
do?
We all do it. That's what I'm kind of suggesting is that it is a part of our biology, and they're exploiting the shit out of it. There's no virtue, on their side of it. Like almost all of a woman's tears are crocodile tears. How do you,
Damn right
and,
they
and
are.
how do you, yeah, how do you, once you've been tricked 100 times, how do you allow yourself to be tricked, the next time? Like, are you really going to fall for it? And the answer is, based on male biology, yes, of course they are. Absolutely they are. And the answer is why? Big boobs and deep vagina. So there it is.
Howard, they've used our nature against us, and they've conditioned generation after generation now to the point where they don't even have to hide the fact that they're corrupt anymore. That's why politicians, they don't even work on their lies. These lies suck. They're so see-through, it's not even funny. Right?
Yeah.
They don't have to.
Yeah.
Why would you?
We could have fun. We could have fun hooking a politician up to a lie detector test and saying things like, do you really care about the poor?
Oh, dude, it'd blow up.
And seeing what the answer is. Exactly. Lie detector test, the machine explodes.
Yeah. It would blow up on that question alone. Kaboom!
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you see them now. They can barely answer questions now. They're so delusional.
Well, dude, they won't answer questions because they're trying to continue pushing the woke agenda or some kind of conditioning. The whole I don't know what a woman is because of biology, that's not because she doesn't know what a woman is. It's because if she doesn't pander and continue pushing the fucking woke agenda, she can't they, and I mean they in a whole sense, can't keep conditioning us to allow this question to even come up. Right? I mean, if somebody says, well, I can't answer the question because I'm not a biologist on what a woman is, normally they would have been taken outside, thrown onto the street, and be told not to come back because you're too much of an idiot. And that fucking passes today, brother.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have passed.
Or just too much, too much of a pussyfoot, to be useful in any sort of discussion. It's like, I understand people want to say things like on this, on the one side, there's this, on the other side, there's that. But at one point it becomes absolutely useless. Like you won't agree to anything. So these people are tongue tied. They're scared also, of the power of this delusional, gynocentric, collective, emotion-based system. They're afraid of it. And they should be, because it can destroy you in the blink of an eye. That's what it is. It's not a merit-based system. It's not a competency-based system. It's a popularity-based system. And popularity is gained by cooperating, going along with this system. You want to be famous. You want your songs to be famous. Sing about the Democratic Party. They'll promote it.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go
Sing
out
about a
there
social
and
justice cause.
Say you're pansexual or, you're
exactly.
What's the other one? Non-binary or some shit. We'll fucking push you, baby. No problem.
Exactly.
We'll make you famous.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
When I'm in the Bo stand, I don't see $2 fucking.
No, and you know what? I've never seen it either. So, what can we say there?
The women are pissed, man. They are literally the definition and the origins of the word. They're getting fucked. Okay. They're resentful. They're angry. They're bitter. This is a basic. Themselves. Oh yeah. No, this is a basic part of existence. Okay. Marketing, one of the things you're doing from a marketing point of view is finding a spot where people are upset. What's bothering them. Okay. Like you want to live forever. You don't want to die. You want to feel good forever. You don't want to be in pain. And it's like, they don't want to be women. It's a great marketing tool. You know what I mean? So let's sell them the pill. They don't want to be women. Let's bring them into the workplace and let's tax the hell out of them. They certainly don't want to have sex.
They don't want to be women, but they don't want the responsibilities of men either. See, they want the benefits. They don't know
any of it.
Yeah, they want the benefits, and they think what they believe is true, that, men are just these irresponsible fucking oafs.
Exactly.
But look at what happened when you see these women do these social experiments, right? Like the Tinder dating thing as a guy, or the walk in the streets as a guy, or even interacting with people. They're treated very differently. And
what about when they change genders? What about when they completely change genders?
Yeah. What's the one that Jordan Peterson got fucking kicked off Twitter for? What's her name? It's a her. I don't give a fuck.
So in the military, we now have transgender sensitivity training, and it's a nice long class where you get to learn about 52
different genders?
52 different freaking genders.
The Chinese have got to be cracking up over this. They really do. That they've fucked up our society. The Russians have to be cracking up over this. That they've fucked us up and destabilized us so severely through social and, social engineering. There's an argument that we lost the Vietnam War based on, a social demographic appeal, to the youth here back in America. It's not entirely true, but, there's a huge part of it. So swinging our popular culture and directing it is this incredible tool of the modern age. It is cyber warfare. And we are on the receiving end of it. You know what I mean? So all the women are hateful around us and it's hard to get a job.
Well,
it's Howard, there's not much we can do about it.
It's funny you mentioned that about other countries like Russia and stuff. If nobody knows this, Justin Trudeau has donated like tons of military equipment to Ukraine, right? Over the conflict that's been going on there since the start. 2 days ago, the leader of the Ukraine Nazi party, Vladimir, whatever the fuck his name is, nobody cares, came out. That's actually his name. Yeah, his name is Vladimir. I just don't remember his last name. Slalinsky or something. Anyway, Zelensky, I think.
I just call him Strap On.
Yeah, Strap On. That's a good name for him. But he came out and said, Canadians are racist and they support terrorist Nazis. And I was like, yeah, they do. They supported you. Motherfucker. You know what Justin Trudeau's answer will be to that? Just like when he said, I love China. China is the greatest dictatorship out there. He will send them more funds.
He's really embarrassing. I don't know why you guys don't just like take images of him and put like baby diapers on him and a baby fucking cowl on his head and then just write something really stupid. I mean, like just like millions of like really insulting memes.
Well, I don't want to get your channel suspended, but I am more of an extreme case. And I think personally he needs some lead injections to the back of the head.
Oh, geez.
And that's what you need to do with most of our politicians around the world. That's what needs to happen. No dictator is going to give up power.
But men are too weak to grab a hold of their cojones and change their own fates.
Yeah. When the trucker convoy happened in Ottawa, the first day they were heading down, I was like, I hope you guys are all bringing your firearms. Because if you're going down there with just words and flags, you're fucking kidding yourself. Dictators do not and have never given up power with words. They had to be beaten into submission or killed.
No, why would anybody give up power? Why would anybody give up power? That is the game. That is the game of life. You think it's money. It's not even money. It's the ability to make money, and that's power.
Yeah,
and all that's influence.
They extort money from us, right? That's all we are. We're just the sheep that they extort the money from. All right.
Oh yeah, in a game that we don't even get to play in a game that's played upon us. And the bait is that, maybe you can get married and have a good life. Maybe you can meet a good woman and have a good time and get laid. Maybe you can build yourself up in life.
Well, it's like I've said to you though, Howard.
Probably not.
What's the point of a life on your knees? That's not
True.
life. That's not living. You aren't supposed to live in your country and be afraid of everything you say and do. That's what
Exactly.
we have right now.
Exactly.
Agreed.
How many laws are on the books? You literally can't sneeze in some places and turn your head in the wrong direction without facing some type of jail time or fine. It's all about
All male
keeping people
behavior is
conditioned.
demonized.
Yeah, there you go. Even our behavior, our genetic default setting is now demonized to the point where it's not considered child abuse for me to take my son, right, and force him to wear dresses, even if he doesn't want to. That's praised. We've
Well, that's
seen it
the
on
overreaching
TikTok.
of an emotionally unstable, out of control, emotional gynocentric mindset that's permeated our culture and our society and our interactions. And this is why it's so
100%.
hard to go your own way. How far away have you got to go? Like what do you really have to go out to the farm in the middle of nowhere and like get stocked and supplied through deliveries, and have no other contact? Because you're still going to have to get on the phone and maybe discuss, an issue with PayPal or something, right? And then they find out you're MGTOW and you're done. So,
Yep. No, that's just it. I mean, as long as the system is allowed to demonize people, we're done.
Yep.
But
Quit feeding the beast.
that's right. We give them that power.
yeah.
That is power that we sign over.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
what was the name of the country again? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sri Lanka?
Yeah, Sri Lanka. That is the boiling point, and that is what needs to happen in countries all around the world. Right there. But they're not taking it far enough because their politicians are actually getting to run away and flee the country.
Right.
If they had dragged them out and hung them from trees, it'd be a different story.
Tell me what's going on over there, because I am totally disassociated from the news as the media and they want men to be. So I'm largely disassociated. What is going on in Sri Lanka?
Well, the governor of the area has fled. He's fled the country because of the full-on dictatorship that they've gone into. They're basically as bad as Venezuela, right? So they were taxing and claiming the shit out of everything that the people owned, right? So like farmlands and all that. And then they basically started saying, well, now you have to go under more extreme lockdowns, and that was the boiling point. They just snapped. So now they've started rioting in the streets. Now the prime minister or president of the country is essentially stating that the army is now going in under martial law to slaughter and maim and kill as much as they want to get the city under control. But there's only so many soldiers. There's only so many bullets. If you think about how Nazi occupied, say, who was occupied during the Nazi time? Lots of countries. But when Poland, there you go. Poland was actually a great example. Thank you. When Nazis occupied Poland, soldiers were being killed on the fucking mass because every street, every dark alley had a dagger in it, waiting for one of them fuckers to walk by. And every blade of grass had a rifle behind it because they were waiting for them motherfuckers to walk by. This is not a sustainable system. When you are running a dictatorship and your idea of oppressing a people is using the military, your military is eventually going to run out. Because if you kill all the people, well, now you've just got empty fucking land. They want to take
Well, here in the state of Wisconsin, our guard unit, we are struggling so hard for numbers right now, but yet they're willing to kick out 60% over not taking a experiment juju juice.
Yeah. John Smith, you're right. Guerrilla warfare is what's going to happen over there. If the military shows up and actually follows the instructions of the president or prime minister, whatever they have, you'll see guerrilla warfare go down. It will be the new Venezuela. And that's what needs to happen. You need an army that is led by the people for the people to take back your country, to take back the freedoms that they have taken from you, because governments do not give you freedoms, they take them. And that's all they do. They're not here to give, they're here to take.
Damn right.
But anyway, gentlemen, I have to pop off because I got to go make some pizzas for a couple guys.
Take her easy, brother.
Howard, brother, thank you for having me on. I'm glad you're doing more live streams.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
No, thank you guys. And we'll hopefully talk to you later tonight. I'll be on at 7.
We'll be there.
All right,
Yep, sounds good, man. And then there were 2.
Yeah, so I think that was my 4th guest. I think you would qualify as the 3rd guest. Yeah, so we're getting there, right? Yeah, I need more subscribers. So if anybody's here and they're not subscribed, what the fuck? No, just go
subscribe,
ahead, click on the
damn it.
subscribe button. Yeah, you guys should start up a YouTube channel, okay? You don't have to show your face or anything like that, but you get these great analytics. You know what I mean? So it's like subscribers are down 29% since the last 30 days. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? They're gonna kick me off. Yeah. So, looking for subscribers. Yeah, great stuff. You know what I mean? Insights from around the world. It's amazing, what's happening. And this cycle, this behavior of an authoritative, overbearing, leftist, emotional, takeover in government, in politics, in culture, it's not unique. You know what I mean? This is what happens once you build up to a certain level and develop enough resources and enough institutions and try to automate them. A corrupting influence comes in that just wants the resources but doesn't actually want to do the work. And so they undercut the whole system and they invert the values. And this is how your slave class generally takes over its master class. And, it's happening now on a scale, in a way, from a technological point of view, that's just amazing. Like, you could make a really great science fiction movie about this. You know what I mean? A civilization with, nuclear capabilities and basic space travel, and then it gets dominated by a female collective and a hive mind. All the institutions, the military, all of it. Fascinating.
Very interesting to watch. It's like my own little private philosophy documentary.
Yeah. But most of the men, throughout all of this, they just want to get laid and they just want to have a decent life. So can you do that in this environment becomes, the important question. And I think you can, but you have to be aware of the environment and not fall prey to the environment. So the men have to start building themselves up, earning an independent income, would be one. Yeah, what were you saying, Sacred Why? Yeah, you were talking, you were in the security business and you were saying something else also about, business and things like that, because men have to be in their own business. Like, how can you work for a gynocentric institution when they're going to fire you for being a man?
Right. So right now I'm kind of freelancing. I'm still licensed, but I'm freelancing as a private investigator for different law firms, Cool. So I am constantly exposed to wives cheating on their husbands. Ooh. It's very interesting. Like, it just red pills me even more, and it's awesome.
So are more wives cheating on husbands or husbands cheating on wives from your perspective?
Oh, it's wives cheating on husbands. You will not believe the crap that these women do. You will not believe. I'm talking, they will abuse their kids, cheat on their husbands. They will still blame the father, and the man will still lose everything in the end and get the blame. And it's
Yeah.
horrible. It's absolutely horrible, and it's
Yeah.
everywhere. And then it carries over into the larger society, and you see it in advertisements. You see it in the consumer culture. Even it's like it goes so deep that not even the most big brained MGTOW philosopher is gonna find a bottom.
No, I can't get out of it. Okay. For all that I, done and thought and talked. No. It's pretty much got a hold of Howard Dare. So, look out. So be careful, listen to the other men, build yourself up. See, the consumer society wants to turn you into a mindless drone. It wants to turn you into being part of the herd. Part of the herd is just being a man, and you're going to have to compete for sexual attention, and that's resources. You're going to be part of this whole dominance hierarchy, and that's part of the conditioning too. How do you find your own way? It's a tough one. It really is, but you've got to be true to yourself. You've got to find, the things you care about, that you feel passionate about in life. Then you've really got to pursue them, and you've got to hold yourself to your own standards. So like you're playing the guitar, okay? And you've got an audience applauding for you. Does that mean you're good? I don't know. All right. You're playing the guitar and you're improving, and that you're mastering more complex things, and you're improving. Which one are you after? Because
I agree.
system wants you to be after the approval, the crowd approval, and that's mostly female approval, and that's corporate approval, and that's government approval and institutional approval. And that's nothing to base your life on, because they'll pull the rug out from under you in the blink of an eye. That's the game they're playing for no reason. And then where are you? So before that happens, you make yourself strong up front as a man. Don't chase any woman. Let the women come to you. Really, let them come to you, and then make it clear. Like if you're going to go down that road, then get your terms out there. And be upfront and be honest. But don't. And can't be too. I'm Howard Dare and MGTOW. That won't work. But I think people understand what I'm trying to say. We've got to make the best of what we have. That's all I'm trying to say to you. Okay. Don't despair either, because this is a great opportunity for men. You see their true nature. Our two focuses are rebuilding male nature, reclaiming male sovereignty, male virtue, male pride, male dignity, okay? And exposing female nature. And we're getting there with MGTOW, and hopefully you guys can start adding more to it as well. Sacred Wide, do you have any thoughts before we should shut this down?
I'll probably just
overall on this?
Yeah, I'll just probably leave you guys off with start standing up for your own sanctity, especially when it comes to your seed. You got to protect that shit, because it's weaponized against you. Your genetic lineage creates an echo within the universe, and you're a creator. You create life. You carry both X and Y. You carry literally the fundamental blueprints for creating another human being, and to them, that's another wage slave to perpetuate the Hegelian cycles further. So you coming to the MGTOW precipice now have to take that responsibility and move forward, on your own terms, protect your balls, grab a hold of them, and live your life. Just keep doing that. Keep being there for brothers in need. Fuck the money. Just do what needs to be done, because you see the truth, and you it's all within you. You know what it is. You see it. You don't need the outside approval to get to where you need to go. It's all on us. Our ancestors conquered this fucking planet with primitive technology. You will be fine, and you will make it as a MGTOW man. So with that, brothers, I'm going to sign out. Remember, you're the why of everything. And Howard Dare, it's an honor. And I would always love to be on your show anytime you want.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace. So there it is. Protect your assets as well and build up your assets. Not just money, okay, but the ability to generate passive income. That's wealth versus just, having some money in your pocket, which is, from a consumer point of view, burning a hole in your pocket because all the advertisement around you is screaming it. And all the women are saying, buy me. The Muslim culture covers the women, right? Covers the faces, does not allow the demonstration, understands there is this manipulation there. I'm pretty sure that's the reason, otherwise the men are just distracted all the time, right? Now you put them in bikinis and you put them up on billboards and the men are even more distracted. And then you take their values and their ideas and you pretend like these are the most important things in the world. And these things are things like being able to change your sex at will. Now, where are you? I mean, that's where we are. Great stuff, right? And now, a young man coming up, any man existing in the system, right? What does he want? Just wants to have a good life. Might enjoy the company, of a friendly woman. It's kind of biologically there. That's what he wants, at a basic level. But no, you've got to expand your horizons. You've got to change it. You've got to bring more to it. You've got to be the difference in the world that you want to see in the world. You've got to bring that to the world, right? So all those things that, the world should be it, do it. Don't get yourself out there, and get in trouble and hurt yourself. And be true to yourself. Find the value within yourself and pursue it. And it's going to be a lonely road at first. Like, look at what I do, right? I'm not chasing views. I'm not chasing money. Although, go ahead and click on my CashApp, donation link if you can. I mean, I really do need it. But that's not what I'm chasing, so it allows me to be true. So be true to yourself and build on it and improve on it. That's part of finding your way, going your own way. Decide what, your ethics are, which is probably treat people fairly, as long as they're treating you fairly. And if they don't treat you fairly, don't have anything to do with them. And let's not escalate it any further than that, right? Of course, government and popular culture, it's not the way that is. But, you're coming to them, right? You want their help. So you don't come to them anymore. Don't expect anything from them. That's the way you pretty much got to look at it. Now, there's times when there's something that you want from them, okay? And you know where it is, and you just go and you get it. And you have nothing else to do with them. And if you have to have something to do with them in order to secure what it is you want, go ahead, do it. And understand, what situation, what people you're dealing with, what their goals are, things like that. And part of it is, we're going to rip men down. What's this? Oh, this is good. Let me read this, guys. Okay. Come on, show it. Male authority will return, but unfortunately it will most likely return through violent means, meaning a violent gender war, since there is already talks about civil war, but it won't be civil war. Yeah, these are the questions, aren't they? Yeah, these are the questions that come to mind. Well, I'll tell you this, you can certainly restore male authority within your own life. You can get yourself back on track, and you can restore the authority in your own life. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about. At least we can do that. As for the whole idea of the, breakdown, things like that, I have suggested that the system is too smart to let that happen, but it seems that it's heading that way. Perhaps this is just a natural extent, supposed to happen. But I think they would just want to keep playing it, with their advantage. A man comes into a barber shop and the barber says, hey, you want to see the stupidest kid in the world? And the man says, sure. And the barber calls a kid in, and the kid comes in, and the barber says, hey, kid, do you want a $5 bill or a $1 bill? And the kid says, I'll take the $1 bill. And the kid leaves, and barber says, there it is, stupidest kid in the world. Later in the day, the man is at the store. He sees the kid, and he says, hey, kid, why'd you take the $1 bill and not the $5 bill? And the kid says, the moment I take the $5 bill, this game is over. I'm there every day. So I thought they'd want to play this game, but it seems to be coming to a head. What are we going to do? What are men going to do? You're going to build up your own life. You're going to find your own way. And that's a tough one. Because your way, now, can you can model, right? Like you can find other people who have done successful things, and you can pretty much do what they've done, So you've got that also. You've got the internet. You've got all the resources in the world. Restore your own sovereignty. Restore your own authority. Respect it, even if the world around you doesn't. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's a slow go. It's a garden. It's an internal garden. It's a seed that you're taking care of and you're growing. But that seed, yes, it can become the mighty oak. Yeah, you knew I was going there. Some of you just knew it. All right, good deal. Let's see what's going on. Oh, yeah, this is good stuff. Just checking out some of your comments here, people. This is what the human race are looking at. Society has already broken down all over the world. We can't really argue with that, can we? We can't really argue with that. Well, here, let's go back. It will be a gender war. We're already in a gender war. We've largely lost this gender cultural war. You know what I mean? We are just getting beaten at this stage so that the men are going their own way. Now, will it shut down the whole system? It appears that it will. And the aspect that it will shut down is not that the men will walk away or anything like that. The men will be forced to go their own way. Women will go crazy. They'll institute the insane policies. That is what we're seeing. Okay, so it's not necessarily civil war, but it's a fundamental breakdown. Because we're indulging, it's unrestrained female sexuality is what it is, right? And this is exactly what the Muslim world does not allow with the veils and the lack of, public display. So, there might be great wisdom in that. There certainly is, and the Bible teaches it as well, that there's a certain level of discretion that women need to exhibit. And the controls, the societal controls that we have in place, to carry that out. And they're gone. Unrestrained female sexuality. Yeah. Welcome to Thunderdome. You thought it was a good thing. How many of you are my age, and thought about the sexual revolution? Well, this is a good deal for men. Or the pill. Oh, this is a good deal for men. I did. I was very young at the time. No, it's unrestrained female sexuality. And now it determines our public policy in the world that we live in. Okay? So be aware, be careful, be smart, look after your own interests, like, share, comment, subscribe, donate to the Howard Dare channel, help me spread the, message, subscribe to the Howard Dare channel, because this is just too depressing for me. Support the Howard Dare channel because it's depressing for me. I try not to think about it. Let me know what you think about it. Right? Any tips that you've got for the Howard Dare channel, any suggestions? I should keep these shorter, huh? Yeah, I know. You just can't help but have some fun. Yeah, I'll keep them shorter, get some more some interaction with you guys, and we'll do that. And, I want to see what you guys feel and think about things, and I'll take my cues from that. All right. So let's leave it at that. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.